Oh, this is a good one. So, the BBC has decided to start attacking alternative media. Now, what do I mean? The BBC has released something called BBC Verify. It's a team of 60 journalists that are going to be fact-checking things and showing their audience a bunch of transparency. They're going to be showing them how they find their news, how they verify the information, and they're coming to the rescue of all of the people out there who just are subjected to so much misinformation. They're going to save the day. But before that, who's going to save the day with this store? Well, you know it's me, the Soul Not For Sale store. Boom. As always, we got hoodies, we got shirts, t-shirts, women's v-necks, mugs, children's sizes, tank tops, and we have a lot more coming for the anti-WEF line as well. Somebody told me it's getting way too hot for sweaters, and that's very true. For me, it's always a great time for a sweater. I love sweaters, but I definitely hear you. Every single purchase helps us fight demonetization and the limiting of our videos. So every single purchase helps us more than you can possibly know. And thank you to everybody who has purchased something so far. Now let's get into what I was talking about earlier. The BBC unveils a Verify team of 60 journalists. It says will be transparency in action. So just a little bit of a breakdown of what this actually is for you. So what is BBC Verify? Announcing BBC Verify on Wednesday, the corporation said it will showcase the advanced editorial tools and techniques BBC News journalists are using to investigate, source, and verify information, videos, and images. The highly specialized team will share the evidence of their work with their audience, using capabilities that go beyond conventional newsroom techniques. This is like an Avenger team that's coming into play. So just real quick over here, the BBC team will consist of 60 journalists and will put together the following existing teams, which will carry out open source investigation, fact checking, of course, and verification work. What else will they have, guys? They will have the user-generated content team, the World Service disinformation team, of course, monitoring disinformation team, reality check, and so on and so forth. Now, why would I say that they're attacking independent media? Why would I say that? I can't just say something like that. BBC Verify should be all over me right now. I can't just spout out things that aren't true. Well, according to this video, and she's going to break it down for you, they're going directly at alternative media. So let me just play this video for you so you can get a better understanding.
The BBC, we are also a new brand, and we are a physical location above the newsroom in London. And the point of the team, as you said, is to verify video, to fact check, to counter disinformation, and to analyse really complex stories so we can get to the truth of what's going on. Why does this matter? Well, mistruths can cause really serious harm to society and to the people in them. And so we want to show you our workings and really help you understand how we get to the bottom of what's happening. And I'm going to give you a bit of a flavour of the kind of work that the team are doing. So we're able to look at maps to geolocate specific situations, stuff that's going on. This is just a map of central London where we are now. And this is New Broadcasting House, where I'm speaking to you from. And it's not so important perhaps for the centre of London, but it is when we're analysing war zones or what's happening in hard to reach places. And there's a story on the BBC website today. It's looking at Russian fortifications on the front lines in Ukraine, and you can read more about it there. And there are other ways that we also are able to interrogate what's going on, including on social media. I have some undercover accounts that I've set up for the BBC's Americast podcast, and we use these kinds of undercover accounts, and these are the characters that the accounts belong to be able to really understand polarization online and how what's happening on our social media feeds and what we're being recommended and pushed to us can affect all of us.
So she's just telling everybody what the accounts are. She just you can go look up Gabriella now, and you know that that's just a BBC account. So I only say that to say that this is absolute nonsense. This is complete nonsense. And I'm going to let the video go a little more. I'm getting upset because this is basically a propaganda machine. They're basically in the name of like, oh, we're going to show you we're going to be very transparent with you, they're actually leading people in to propaganda. And it's going to show itself even more by the end of this video. Here you go.
And they don't offer us a totally exhaustive insight into what's going on, but they can help us understand just how social media works. And then there's also investigating other mistruths and the real world harm they can cause. At the moment, I'm investigating the UK's conspiracy theory movement. I'm trying to understand more about how it's evolved and intensified since the pandemic here in the UK. I'm looking at the alternative media that finds itself at the heart of this movement, and a conspiracy theory newspaper that's a part of that as well. I'm looking at the way that alternative media is funded. I'm looking at its impact on local communities. I'm looking at its connections with far-right figures, and also its foreign links. That's for a podcast series that will be coming out in June. It's called Mariana in Conspiracy Land, and it will be available on BBC Sounds, Radio 4, asking that question: could January the 6th or a German coup attempt like we saw there ever happen here in
Just incredible. So let me just go back to that little chart she has out there, right? Let me just press this. So she is linking alternative media. That's people like me, you know, even like the Daily Wire, that can be considered that. Redacted. There's just so many people. Mr. Sunshine Baby, if you're Canadian. There's so many people who this is connected to. And she's connecting alt-right media. Or sorry, alt-right media. She's connecting alternative media to far-right figures, to foreign links. She's looking into the funding, as if the funding doesn't just come from YouTube. Like, come on. Most of the funding anyway. And the impact on local communities, as well as conspiracy newspapers. This is nuts. This is nuts. The fact that they're making something like this, oh man, my levels are going all crazy. I'm getting too loud. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. This is wild. The fact that the BBC would think that they can just make a show like this. And you know what? I can't even say that they think they can do it. They're doing it. This is a real thing. And that part of the population that I talk about, that, you know, when we were talking about the whole survival mechanisms and people who are able to be swayed by propaganda, that 80% of people, we'll just call it the general population, who could go either way. Now, when they look at the BBC, they're going to have the narrative put into their head that alternative media is connected to conspiracy theories, connected to far-right movements and figures, has foreign links. Everything that you want to stay away from in terms of getting your information, she's connecting all of that to alternative media. Do you know how crazy that is? How nuts that is? She's connecting all of that to alternative media. This is going to be really something to see. I can't wait to do some videos on this conspiracy land that she plans on releasing, or maybe she's already recorded, because this is propaganda at its finest. As alternative media is making, alternative media, and say even independent media, as it's making such amazing strides that we've seen with Russell Brand, we've seen with Joe Rogan, we've even seen with Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro and all sorts of people. I mean, Steven Crowder even. I mean, there's so many people. I mean, Kyle Kalinske even. He's on the left. Like, you've seen so many people, Tim Cass, so many people have made amazing strides in the independent realm. And it's starting to overturn the mainstream media. It's starting to really step in front of mainstream media, where mainstream media says things that are wrong and out of place and just straight up made up, because that's happened many times via CNN and MSNBC. Alternative media steps in and says, no, this is the actual story. These are the actual points that you're not mentioning. These are the stories that you're not giving any light to. And there has been a changing of the guard going on. I would say for the past 2-3 years, there's been a changing of the guard happening. And things like this are just put in place to stop that changing of the guard. So the general population, again, I've said this before, because the general population is now going to look at alternative media as things that are connected to conspiracy, foreign links, far right, you know, just, again, always branding things with the names. with the misogyny, with the sexist, with the racist, with the xenophobia, with the transphobia, always labeling things the most disgusting things possible that will make anybody just kind of move away from it. Where it's like, if I can't even, like, I'm a regular person, I can't even listen to what these people say because they're connected to all these horrible names. And I can't conversate with people that are connected to all these horrible things. It's like a black person who thinks someone's racist. They're like, I can't listen to you. We're not allowed to have any common ground. If we have common ground, well, that reflects poorly on me. That's what they're setting up right now with this BBC Verify. So look out for it. It's going to be there. 60 journalists coming in like the Avengers in the Justice League, all wrapped into one great big ball of nonsense. Going to be hitting the airwaves very soon. And I'm going to be there every step of the way to see what they're doing. I hope more independent people are as well, because that is complete bullshit. And other than that, guys, I am out. Peace.